Most seniors think walking is the best exercise for high blood pressure. It helps, but another type of exercise lowers blood pressure while also fixing the metabolic problems that caused it in the first place. And almost no doctors are telling their senior patients about it. It's resistance training. I'm Dr. Mandy Thomas. Today, I'm explaining exactly why resistance training belongs in every senior's blood pressure plan, what the science shows, and what the weekly routine actually looks like. Stay to the end. The weekly plan section is where most of the practical value lives. Drop a comment right now. What exercise do you currently do for your blood pressure? Walk, gym, nothing yet? First, what high blood pressure is actually doing inside your body. High blood pressure means sustained elevated pressure pushing against the walls of your arteries over time. That pressure quietly damages the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, a layer called the endothelium, which regulates how your arteries flex and respond. On screen, simple artery diagram showing healthy versus damaged inner lining, slowly and silently over years, which is why so many seniors can have high blood pressure for years without feeling anything different at all. Small numbers matter enormously here. People hear 5 to 10 points and shrug. That sounds tiny. But think of it like interest on savings. A small, consistent improvement compounds into something significant when you maintain it over years. We're not chasing dramatic short-term numbers. We're shifting your long-term risk profile. That is absolutely worth fighting for. The case for cardio and why it's not the whole story. Regular cardiovascular exercise, walking, cycling, swimming, can bring resting blood pressure down by roughly 5 to 8 points on average. You'll also improve endothelial function, lower your resting heart rate, and support healthy weight. Cardio is genuinely good for you. It is not the problem in this conversation. But here's the key takeaway so far. Cardio helps your heart. Resistance training changes the system that caused high blood pressure in the first place. Here's what the research shows that most doctors aren't telling you. Resistance training delivers blood pressure reductions comparable to cardio, similar average reductions, similar vascular improvements, but on top of that, it brings an entire extra layer of benefits that cardio simply cannot match. That is what makes it the most underused tool in blood pressure management for seniors. Before you picture powerlifting, stop. We are not talking about anything extreme. Consistent, structured, moderate intensity resistance work done regularly. Let me break this down into 3 benefit categories, and the first is the one that surprised researchers the most. Benefit 1, metabolic health. On screen, illustration of muscle tissue absorbing glucose. High blood pressure rarely shows up alone. It often travels with weight creeping up around the abdomen and changes in how the body handles blood sugar. When you build muscle through resistance training, you're expanding your body's capacity to absorb and process glucose. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. More of it means better insulin sensitivity and better glucose regulation. You're not just targeting blood pressure directly, you're improving the underlying metabolic architecture that contributed to the problem in the first place. And here's the part that surprised researchers. This metabolic improvement happens even in seniors who start resistance training late in life. Your body can still respond. That's the remarkable thing. Benefit 2, vascular health. Resistance training creates short bursts of increased arterial pressure during each set. That might sound like something to avoid, but this is exactly what your blood vessels need. These controlled, repeated cycles of pressure rising and falling train your vascular system to remain responsive and adaptable. On screen, simple graphic. Blood pressure wave during exercise set, then recovery dip. Think of it as functional stress for your arteries. It keeps your blood vessels flexible and well-regulated over time. It also helps reduce the influence of your fight or flight nervous system. That background physiological tension so many seniors carry constantly. Resistance training is working on that too, at a vascular level. Here's the key takeaway. Cardio helps the heart pump better. Resistance training helps the whole system the heart is pumping through. Benefit 3, long-term independence. This is the one I want every senior to hear. nothing protects against muscle loss with age the way resistance training does. There's a condition called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that comes with getting older, and it's a major contributor to falls, frailty, and loss of independence. Cardio will not prevent sarcopenia. Walking will not prevent sarcopenia. Only the challenge of resistance training drives the adaptation needed to preserve your strength, your balance, and your ability to live on your own terms as the years go on. This is not an either-or situation. If you're already walking regularly, keep going. That is a fantastic foundation. What I'm saying is, it's incomplete on its own. The full picture needs both. And for most seniors, that combination is completely achievable. Now I want to pause here. If you're over 60 and want simple, science-based strategies that protect your heart and independence, subscribe right now and turn on notifications. I publish new evidence-based health guides every week specifically for seniors. And share this today with someone who's been told to exercise more, but never told what that actually means. Now let's get to the weekly plan. What the weekly plan actually looks like. On screen, weekly schedule graphic, 5 days cardio plus 2 days resistance. The guidelines recommend around 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week, roughly 30 minutes of brisk walking most days. That is the aerobic foundation. But those same guidelines also call for 2 resistance training sessions per week. This is consistently the recommendation that most seniors never hear about in the consulting room. 2 sessions per week, 20 to 40 minutes each to start. But here is the non-negotiable. Those sessions need to be genuinely challenging your muscles. That means working through all your major movement patterns, squatting, carrying loads, pressing, pulling. You don't need a gym, although a gym gives you more options for progressive overload over time. Body weight at home works well to start, and you gradually add load as you get stronger. How do you know if you're at the right intensity? If you finish a set and feel like you could have done it 20 more times with no real effort, the load isn't high enough. By the last few repetitions, you should be genuinely working, in control, safe, but feeling that your muscles have been challenged. That is the sweet spot. And here's the part that surprises most seniors. Is resistance training safe when you have high blood pressure? The evidence is clear. Structured, moderate-intensity resistance training is safe for people being treated for hypertension. It works alongside medication, not against it. If you have specific concerns, speak with your own doctor. But the broad evidence base is very reassuring. Here's the full picture to take with you. You have more agency over your blood pressure than you might think. Resistance training deserves to be part of your formal management plan, not as an afterthought, but as a core component of your prescription for better cardiovascular health. It's working on your metabolism, your vascular adaptability, your nervous system regulation, and your long-term physical resilience all at the same time. An extraordinary return on a 40-minute investment twice a week. The compounding benefit of both exercise types together over months and years goes well beyond a number on a blood pressure monitor. We're talking about reducing long-term stroke and heart disease risk, preserving your independence as you age, feeling strong and capable and in control of your body. That is worth every single squat. I've put together a free senior blood pressure exercise guide, a 1-page printable covering the weekly prescription, the intensity guidelines, the major movement patterns to include, and how to progress safely over time. Many of my patients keep it on the fridge as a weekly reference. The link is in the description, originally created for my clinic patients and available here for now. Drop a comment below. Did today's video change how you're thinking about exercise for blood pressure? What was the biggest thing you didn't know before? I read everyone. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this with a senior you care about who's been told to exercise more, but never told what that actually means. Next video, the 5 supplements with the strongest clinical evidence for blood pressure reduction, including one that consistently reduces systolic pressure by 7 to 10 points in people who are deficient. I'll see you there. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting a new exercise program, especially if you have high blood pressure or other cardiovascular conditions.